Hey guys, and welcome back to the JTO channel. And this is your match review of Serbia 0, England 1 in a very underwhelming, a very disappointing game from England. Yes, they get the job done. Yes, they get the 3 points. And then our top of the group as Slovenia and Denmark drew earlier. But, you know, in games like this, I'm not asking England to be perfect, but I'm asking, and I'm getting straight into it. And you know what? Let me actually calm down, because I'm kind of eager to really talk about this game and sort of the issues England had today and why why today proved why I just don't have them going far in this tournament and just really being disappointing. But before we get into that, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe. There should be some more Euros content tomorrow. I do apologize that nothing has been uploaded on the other two games today. In regards to Slovenia versus Denmark, I simply just couldn't watch the game. I had a pretty busy day. And Poland, Netherlands, I watched bits of it, not enough to really do a review on it. So I do apologize. Hopefully tomorrow, Tuesday, Wednesday, and onwards, I do see more of these games and make reviews on it, of course, because that's what I'm here to do. That's what it's about, man. The Euros is back. I'm back. So yeah, like, comment, subscribe for all that content soon come. But today, I definitely was not gonna miss this game. I watched bits of Netherlands. I didn't see the Slovenia Denmark game at all. Unfortunately, I didn't make a review on the Italy game last night, which really, 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 really annoys me because the video got corrupted. The video got corrupted and it couldn't upload. So that happened. And I just couldn't be bothered making another video on it because I spent probably 15 minutes at least on that with the on the video in terms of talking and then all the editing and stuff like that. So yeah, because I really did enjoy Italy's performance last night. But anyway, it's about England. I wasn't going to miss this game for the world. No way. I want to see England do well. I was born in this country. I'm going to root for them. And I have high hopes. Well, normally, I have high hopes for England, as a lot of the nation do. Um, but this tournament, going into this tournament, I think a lot of people seem to be more negative on England, and I can actually see why. I can understand why because I'm one of those guys. I don't think England are going to do that well, and I think today's game showed it. Today's game showed why England just won't get over the line. It sort of shows how England have been on the Southgate for years, really. And look, when we talk about the lineup he played, I mean, there were rumours before the game Trent was going to play in midfield, and I must say I was not happy with that at all. And I'm going to get to that later, and I'm going to tell you why it's not going to work. He played Jude in the 10, he played Phil on the left, Saka on the right, Kane up front, the back four of Trippier, Gahey, Walker and Stones, Pickford in goal. And look, the first 30 minutes were sensational, but that is England for you. England, for the most part, in recent years, for the first 30 minutes of these games under Southgate, are always going to be good. Okay? We were good. We had Walker, Gahey, and I think it was Stones as the back three. He had Trippier high up. He had Saka high up 1v1 with Pavlovic. He allowed Phil Foden in the first 30 minutes to roam around the pitch, be on the left, be on the right, be in the 10. He allowed Bellingham to sort of have a free roll as well. Bellingham dropped deep. So I saw the principles and I was like, you know what? I'm actually kind of liking what I'm seeing here. It looks like he's giving the likes of Bellingham and Foden a little bit more freedom, because one of my issues was actually with Foden and Bellingham playing on the left and the 10 respectively was, are they going to be restricted? Are they going to be allowed to be are they going to be allowed to play with freedom? Can they have that freedom to like roam around and sort of do what they want? Be in certain positions and pick up pockets and get as many touches as possible on the ball. And in the first 80 minutes, Serbia can get out. We were controlling the game, dominating. Saka on the right hand side was absolutely sensational. What a performance from him, I must say. Obviously slowed down in the second half, but I blame that more on the team and the structure and the tactics from Southgate and just the setup in general. Bellingham was fantastic in those first 30 minutes as well. The first half in general, he was just dropping deep, getting on the ball, making things happen, winning fouls, crashing the box. I mean, the guy is just a powerhouse. And this is why, for me, those first 30 minutes from Bellingham shows why I don't want him playing in the 10. I want him to play next to Rice because he's allowed to just be that box-to-box powerhouse. He can drive with the ball, glide past players, win fouls, crash the box and score goals. But on the defensive point of view, he works really hard. He chases after players. He doesn't stop running. He wins the ball back. He's strong, physical, tall. Like, this is why I want him in the 8, because I believe him as a 10, it restricts him in a way. I think it does. And that showed, I think, throughout the game. Phil Foden on the left. I can't lie, throughout the game just wasn't there, man. Like, just wasn't good enough, you know. First 15, 20, maybe he was doing a little sign, moving on the right, middle, trying to link up and that, but it wasn't good enough. Harry Kane, 2 touches in the first half. I mean, bloody hell. I mean, before we get to the negative side of it, let's get to the positives. The goal. Saka, mate, this guy was cooking up Pavlovic all first half. Every time, 1v1, got past him every single time. And Saka showed why he has to be the man on that right-hand side. He has to start on the right-hand side. I love Cole Palmer, but for me, for this England team, for what this team needs, Saka needs to play on the right wing. Cole Palmer now, he needs to play in the 10. In my opinion. If you're going to put Cole Palmer in this team, you have to put him in the 10. For me, it's not one of those ones where I look at it and think it's either Palmer or Saka. For me, it has to be Palmer and Saka. Especially if Phil Foden is putting up performances like this from the left. But Saka, like I said, just cooking, slicing, dicing, nutmegs. Puts the cross in, gets a deflection. Jude Bellingham's there out of nowhere. Bullet header, goal. 1-0 England. Now you're thinking to yourself, we're 1-0 up. Let's continue controlling the game. Let's continue dominating the game. We've got the players to do it. We've got the Kanes, the Fodens, Bellinghams, Sakas, you know. We've got the players to Trent in midfield. You know, he's there to control the game, no? Nah, Southgate just decides we're going to sit back for the rest of the game. And this is where the negatives come into it for me. Now, the problem with Southgate and this team, for some reason, when we go 1-0 up, we seem to go in our shell. I don't know whether that's a tactical thing or whether that's a player thing. Because for the squad that we have, for the players that we have, yeah, we should be, despite being 1-0 up, dominate Serbia still. Still control the game. Still create chances. Okay? And let's be honest today. Serbia, yeah, after the goal was scored, they started to get a hold of the game. They started to control it. They started to move the ball well in terms of getting it to the final third. For some reason, England's structure in terms of sitting back wasn't good enough because the positions the Serbia players are picking up and the way they're receiving the ball, it's too easy. The pressing structure just wasn't good enough at all. Serbia today, at least since the goal was scored, every time they got that ball forward, it was easy for them to get the ball into the final third. But when they got to the final third, they were playing like a Sunday league team. So this is my thing with it. Even though England should not be in a position where we're 1-0 up and we're clearly like, you know, sitting back. Okay, fine. If you're going to sit back and if you're going to defend, a pivot that involves Trent Alexander-Arnold cannot happen. The guy does not have the discipline or the positional awareness to play in that position. And then even from a on-the-ball perspective in the first 30 minutes, Trent was okay maybe in the first 10, 15. But for the rest of the game, he was basically useless. He was useless. And if anything, he was actually a hindrance to our team from a midfield position. From a midfield position, him just being in that midfield position, he was a hindrance to our team. Because considering we're not dominating the game anymore, every time he got the ball, he's always trying to play these long passes in behind. And it's like, for me, there's no point of Trent doing that when we don't have any runners except for Saka. Kane does not run in behind. Foden does not run in behind. It'd make more sense for Trent to be in this team in midfield if Ollie Watkins is playing, if Anthony Gordon is playing, because those guys will make runs in behind. And Trent's biggest strength, especially when he's going to play in midfield, is his long-range passing, right? It's not his short-range passing. And it showed, even in the first half, when Mitrovic had that chance, Trent is not comfortable receiving the ball with his back to goal. The difference between playing in midfield as a fullback and then playing as a fullback normally for Trent is when Trent receives the ball from a fullback position, the only people behind him The only person behind him is the goalkeeper, and he's with the back four in line. So really, when he receives the ball, he can only look forward. Whilst in midfield, you're in front of the defense now. So when you're on the ball, he doesn't have that awareness or that sort of positional intelligence or that press resistance to sort of deal with the press coming at him and knowing what to do. And it showed. He took a bad touch, Serbia pounced on him, and they didn't even press him like mad, and they had a chance from it. In the second half, a couple times, he gets pressed, and boom, Serbia, and he loses the ball. He bottles it. And it's not his fault because he's not played in midfield much. So for me, at this level, he can get away with it against a Serbia, who in the final third today just weren't decisive at all, no cohesiveness, no nothing, right? And especially when we're sitting back and we're trying to defend the lead, you can't have him in the team because he's going to lose the ball every single damn time. Because what does he look to do? Long ball, long ball, long ball. Counter-attack, counter-attack, counter-attack. We can't go on the counter-attack if Harry Kane and Phil Foden are in the team because those two players don't run in behind. So for that reason, there's no point of having Trent in midfield. He's better off playing as a right-back, having him invert into midfield and doing his thing there and have him defend from wide areas. Because at the end of the day, for some reason, people think Trent in midfield means, oh, he doesn't have to defend as much. Are you joking? He has more space to cover. He's got more kilometers to gear up. Like, I don't understand. So for me, that's problem number one. Problem number two, this back four is awful. Awful. Kyle Walker is useless. I'm just going to say it right now. The brother is useless. Defensively, I've always said this with Kyle Walker. He's not that good. He's got recovery pace, and that is it. But other than that, he's not good defensively. The amount of times I see him just get, he just gets driven past way too easily. Positionally, it's not there. You know, he doesn't attack his winger enough and go at him. He's not aggressive enough. He's too passive. He lets the players that are onto him come onto him. And it's like, bro, it's not good enough. Trippier at left back. Do I have to speak? Do I have to speak? What did he do today? Gahey and Stones. Gahey was actually good today. But there were little moments of lapse in concentration. There were little moments where he showed that inexperience. And there were little moments there where Stones and Gahey as a partnership made silly mistakes, weren't in the right positions. They at times couldn't deal with, they didn't know whether to go forward or not when the likes of Dusan Tadic, when he came in, was in between the lines and, trying to make a difference of the game. That back four for me, not good enough, bro. The better teams, guys, I'm telling you this right now, the better teams, two things that the better teams, right? The better teams, one, will absolutely kill that back four. And in terms of pressing Trent and Declan Rice is not good on the ball. Declan Rice is that player. He needs to keep it simple when he's on the ball. From a defensive point of view, he's absolutely brilliant. He covers space, interceptions, tackles, positional awareness, brilliant. He showed it today. But on the ball, it's not good enough, bro. That's why a midfield of him and Trent would be a disaster if we came up against a France, a Spain, a Italy even, a Germany, Portugal. They'd get killed because Declan Rice is not good on the ball and you can press him. And when you press him, he bottles it. And you've got Trent Alexander-Arnold who's not comfortable receiving the ball with his back to play. So you can't play that midfield. So those are two issues. And then in terms of the attack, look, my problem with this attack today was, okay, England are sat back. Fine. It shouldn't be happening. Okay, but we're sat back. Okay. When you're sat back, right, and you are trying to waste as much time as possible, when you get the ball, right, you need to keep the ball. As an attacker, you need to have good ball retention. You need to win fouls. And this is why, for me, someone like Jack Grealish not going is a huge L. A Jack Grealish coming on today would have been perfect. Phil Foden, too many times in that second half, was a hindrance to the team. Every time he got the ball, he basically lost it. Every time we were defending and England got the ball back, he would clear it instead of having any composure about him. No composure about Phil Foden whatsoever in the second half. A Jack Grealish in a game like today, he gets the ball, he will drive past players, he has good ball retention, and he will win fouls for fun. He'll win fouls for fun. That's why taking him, for example, is not good, because in a game like this, you need players like Grealish. You need players like Cole Palmer. Once again, the subs didn't make sense, and it showed why. Conor Gallagher in a game like this doesn't make sense. He came on and he was a hindrance to the team for the most part, other than the last 5 minutes when he won 2 fouls within like 5 minutes. A Jared Bowen over Cole Palmer. No. No. These are not the players you need when you're defending a lead, guys. They're not. So for me personally, this is why England are just not going to go far. If Trent continues against a better team today, guys, England do not win that game of football. Because Serbia were actually good until they got to the final third. Every time Serbia got to the final third, they were a pub team. They didn't know what to do. Whether it was Jovic, whether it was Vlahovic, whether it was Mitrovic, whether it was Kostic, whether it was Dusan Tadic to an extent, because I thought he had a good cameo. That man just had no cohesiveness, no awful decision making, nothing. It's not good enough from them. Against a better team, bro. In fact, against a team that just make better decisions in the final third, England do not win that game of football. That is why I don't see them going far. Because at the end of the day, even when England play well and score goals, they go into their shell. For some reason, this team is not capable of dominating a game throughout a course of 90 minutes. If Spain played that Serbia team today, if Germany played that Serbia team today, Italy played that Serbia team today, there's no way they play like that after going 1-0 up. You know what you know what those teams do? They continue keeping the ball, they continue to dominate possession, they continue to create chances galore, yeah, and recycle the ball and win it back as much as possible when an attack doesn't work. Whilst England, even though they're capable of doing what those teams do, they don't do it for some reason. For that reason, we're not going to do much. And I don't see Southgate changing it either. So for me, England, yes, they get the job done. They win the game. But it's not good enough. Even the way he used Harry Kane today. Awful. Awful. Harry Kane, anonymous today. In the second half, the best thing he did was just win a couple fouls and hold the ball up. That's it. But this is the problem. You're not getting the best out of him. Harry Kane needs to have as many touches on the ball as possible. I don't want Harry Kane just being up front, waiting for the ball in the box. No. No. I need him to be involved more. Because every time he was involved, he low-key tried to do something. And it nearly and sometimes it pulled off, sometimes it didn't. He got locked up today by Milenkovic. He got locked up today. He got locked up by Milenkovic. It was easy. Because Southgate's like, you don't need to drop deep. And maybe he doesn't because, this Foden, this Bellingham, this Saka. I don't care. You want to get the best out of your players like Kane? Have him have as much touches on the ball and get runners off him. Whether that's Bellingham, whether that's Foden, whether that's fucking Cole Palmer, Saka, Jared Bowen, Anthony Gordon. I don't care. Runners need to be there for Harry Kane. And that's how you get the best out of him. 2 touches. 2 touches. 2 touches. In the first half. This is our best player, by the way. Not good enough. Honestly. It's just awful, man. So, yeah, guys, tell me your thoughts down below, man. I just think England need to do better. They won't. And Southgate is stubborn. He's not going to change it. For me, the subs were a red flag. The tactics after he scored the first goal were a red flag. And look, people are going to say it's not about the way you start. It's about the way you finish. And I hear that. But England have been doing this far too often for too many years for me to believe in that nonsense. Genuinely. And the first game is not about playing brilliantly, even. It's about getting the job done and getting the 3 points. Yes, but it's also about setting the foundations. It's about seeing what have you guys been working on. It's about seeing the principles. It's about seeing a certain style of play, you know? I'm trying to see, okay, what's this England team on from a tactical perspective? From a setup perspective, you know? And I'm not seeing it. I saw it with Germany. I saw it with Spain. I saw it with Italy. I saw it with even Netherlands. You know, I saw it with these guys. I didn't see it with England today, other than the first 30 minutes. We need to improve. Denmark, I'm pretty sure, is up next. Serbia have Slovenia. In regards to Serbia, look, if Serbia patch up in the final third, they can definitely go through. Considering Slovenia and Denmark drew today, it's not a bad result for Serbia. They'll be disappointed they did not equalize. Definitely will be disappointed. But in regards to Serbia, if they patch up front, don't have Mitrovic dropping deep. I don't know why they were doing that today, even though he can do it, but come on now. You know, get Dusan Vlahovic involved a lot more, make better decisions, you know, get Tadic on that pitch a lot earlier and have him be the creative freak that he is. And Serbia can definitely go through. So yeah, tell me what you guys thought below. Tell me your thoughts down below on the game. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn those post notifications, and I'll see you guys whenever I see you guys. Well, not whenever I see you guys. I'll actually see you tomorrow for more Euros content. Peace.